I'll record on this computer. Awesome. Okay, cool. Hi, folks. My name is Julie Anaya, and I am the coordinator for all of our student organizations, fraternities, and sororities here at Stan State. And I will have my counterpart introduce himself as well. Go ahead.
What's good, y'all? My name is Michael Rodriguez, but everybody here at State calls me Big Mike. I am your graduate leadership intern here for the Student Leadership and Development Department, as well as the president of a few organizations on campus.
Awesome. Okay, so we are going to go through the WarriorHub virtual fair, which is how we are going to have our warriors get involved this year. So this year it's a little bit different. It's a week long full of events instead of one day for an event. So it's February 15th through the 19th, and all of our organizations are set each day on for a particular category. So we're going to go through and talk a little bit about what the WarriorHub virtual fair looks like, some information about it, and kind of on that backside with Zoom, making sure that if you are going to use breakout rooms, that you know how to do that, or you know how to set that up at least. And Mike's got some really great tips of anything of handouts and whatnot that you can use virtually for those who might visit your booth. So you'll see right here, I have a QR code that leads you to the virtual fair support page. All of the information that's in this presentation is also linked to the support page. So you're welcome to take a look at that. It's also going to show you some of the back end, the admin side of things that you may not have access to. But at least you'll have the information that's also within this presentation. Okay, so I've introduced myself, but what I didn't mention is that both Mike and I are a part of Student Leadership and Development. We are normally located in the University Student Center upstairs, right across from the elevator in Suite 206. But I did mention that we oversee all student organizations, fraternities, sororities, the Warrior Leadership Series, new student orientation and transition programs. Mike does a phenomenal job and has a big part in our Warrior Leadership Series. And so if you do have any questions in regard to that, feel free to email him and reach out. We also oversee all of the councils as it relates to fraternities, sororities, and all of our non-Greek lettered student organizations. And then of course, WarriorHub. Okay, so the student experience walkthrough. So I am going to show you what that looks like. And again, the QR code is here that will link you straight through the page. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you exactly where the page is. This is what it looks like. This is a walkthrough of what it's going to look like. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this video for you guys so you can see what that looks like.
Welcome to How to Create a Virtual Fair. As a branch administrator, you will navigate to your switchboard in the top right-hand corner. Once you're in your switchboard, you will then head to your Action Center via Manage.
So I'm going to pause it real quick because this is going to show you how to create a virtual fair, and that is an admin function, but I do want organizations to know that they have the opportunity to create one of these. So if this is something that you are looking to do in the future, definitely connect with us and we can help support you through that. There is a part of this that does oversee the virtual fair side, so I'm going to get to that real quick.
And also, if you have any questions about WarriorHub or just starting how to use it and things like that, go ahead and feel free to contact us. We have worked extensively with this, so we can take you from baby steps to flying a jet plane.
Absolutely. I love that analogy. That's perfect. Okay. So I'm going to play a little bit of this.
In the description here, this is your chance to share with your students why this fair is important for them to attend.
So this is how we create the virtual fair on the back end. So again, if you're looking
next, we'll ask if you have any co-hosts for this event.
Explain it.
Within the individual fair, you can select any additional branches to co-host this fair with you. All of their organizations will be invited to also participate in the fair. Today, I'm going to also click on Housing and Residence Life.
Quick
As
tip.
I scroll down,
If you're going for that description, I always suggest open a Google Doc or a Word doc, type it out there first, edit it, and make sure it sounds good. You have, proper grammar structure and things like that, and then paste it into the description so that it looks way more professional than what it would be with freehand.
Exactly. So I'm going to open up this one. This is actually the student walkthrough, and this is the one that we want to see.
We are excited that you are interested in joining a virtual fair. Let's walk through how to find the fair in your events list and join the experience once the fair is live to learn more about involvement opportunities at your institution. First, to view any fairs that are happening within your institution's event list, we're going to log into Engage, and once on the homepage, you will click Events. Within the event directory here, you can search for any event happening within Engage, but today I'm going to search for our virtual involvement fair. Once I have found the individual fair at your institution, you can click on the individual fair and you will see some information about the fair itself, such as the start date and time of the event, the ability to add it to your Google Calendar or iCal or Outlook calendar so that you're constantly reminded that you have the fair coming up. The description and additional information will tell you what you need to know specific to your individual institution. Lastly, don't forget to RSVP to let your campus know that you'll be joining them. Once the fair is live, you will be directed to this virtual fair page when clicking on the event in your institution's event directory. Here you'll notice that the help desk will be available should members of your institution be available to answer any questions you maybe have about finding involvement opportunities. You'll have filters on the left-hand side, so search from your favorite keyword or a name of a specific organization, as well as categories that have been predetermined for all organizations on your campus. Each organization will have a summary about what you'll learn at the fair. You'll have the ability to request to join organizations you may be interested in if it's available for the specific organization. Otherwise, you'll want to meet online with the organization to learn a little bit more about how you join that individual organization and learn about what those membership requirements may be. If the organization is not going to be present live at the fair, you will see a contact button. This will take you directly to a page where you can ask about how to get involved or ask any questions of the leaders of the organization. We hope that you have fun learning more about involvement opportunities at your institution.
Awesome. Okay. So let's get back to our presentation. So that gives you a little bit of a preview of what the fair will look like in itself. Okay. So who can attend the virtual fair? Anybody from anywhere. I've realized that the virtual fair is accessible to anybody public. So even if you have a connection with a high school group, or if you were in Avid and you're local and you want to share all of these opportunities with students who you think, are coming to Stanislaus for the next year or just wanting to know what it means to be involved at Stanislaus, they can attend. They can check it out from a public facing view. It's going to capture some information from them, but they have the opportunity to check it out. If a student has never signed into WarriorHub, it's going to ask them a few questions before they move forward. But this is your opportunity to reach all types of students, all first year, transfer, and all majors. Okay. So what do logged in attendees see when they enter the fair? Just like you saw in the video, it's going to be very similar, if not just like this picture here. They're going to see the list of participating organizations along with that promotional blurb that was submitted on behalf of the organization. And just a reminder, those blurbs and all of the information for your virtual booth need to be in by February 10th. So that is Wednesday of next week. Under each organization, there's going to be an option to request to join, as you see here in that blue button. if that option is available in your organization type setting. So we on the back side, on the back end of things, have made sure that that setting was turned on. And so you should all have a request to join button. And a link to the online meeting supplied by you as an organization. So we'll go over some Zoom tips and tricks in a little bit, but making sure that you are using Zoom, or if you're using Instagram Live, make sure that you have a link that you're able to provide to your virtual booth. And if one isn't provided, a contact button will appear that will route to your organization's form. So either way, in any case, the student should be able to contact the organization.
And make sure that contact date is, or name is up to date with whoever's in charge of your organization's quote unquote email or Instagram.
Exactly. Okay. So if a user that hasn't logged in or isn't logged in attends the fair, what did they see? And so as I mentioned, it's going to ask them for just a couple bits of information. It will have a public visibility setting. And so the user will have to submit their email address for attendance purposes, just so that we know who has attended the event. They'll see a list of participating organizations like you saw on the previous slide, along with the ability to use contact organization feature. They will not see the option to join online meetings for the organization logged in users will. They will be able to see that, but a public facing person who's joining just with their email will not be able to see that meet online feature. Okay, so the video mentioned the help desk. We as student leadership and development are taking different shifts to be able to man that help desk. That is for any student who has questions about getting involved, questions about the Warrior Leadership Series, anything that they might have questions in relation to our department, the event, organizations, etc. And a staff member from Student Leadership and Development will be able to be there along with a student assistant or one of our interns. So students can pull out of any Zoom session and join the help desk at any point if they have any questions. And this is what that will look like. Okay. So the organization fair is Monday, February 15th, all the way through Friday, February 19th. We have set the virtual fair to go from 1 to 7 p.m., focusing on the hours of 1 to 3 and 5 to 7 each day. But like I said, the fair will be open in the in-between time if you want to make appointments for students to chat with you specifically about membership in the non-publicized time. So it does give you a little bit of a cushion to meet with students in between that 3 and 5 o'clock session.
Yeah, that session right there between that 3 and 5 o'clock is just to give, one, everybody a Zoom break because everybody needs a Zoom break. But two, also to make sure that those who really want to be there for those organizations get those questions answered, or if there's some form of overlap from each session, then that's what that space is built for.
Exactly. Okay. What organizations are able to participate? So just a reminder, organizations can participate in Warriors Get Involved if your WarriorHub roster is up to date, your registration has been approved, your constitution changes have been made if that is needed, you have an updated ASI admin account agreement, you've attended Nuts and Bolts or have made arrangements for a makeup training, and your president, treasurer, and student event coordinator have completed training, foundations, and any items on their path. I know that we're getting started with all of that. And so if there's an issue with one or multiple things on the eligibility list, feel free to talk to us. We want to make sure that you have all the recruiting opportunities available. And so if something isn't updated, just let us know and we'll be able to work with you. Okay, so how do you register? So a couple different things are happening here. We've asked that you register using our Warriors Get Involved 2021 registration form, which is totally fine. That's what we've asked you to do. Presidents may see a sign up button like you'll see on the screen if you have full or all access to the events. We want you to, you can sign up with that, but we've asked you to sign up with the registration form, but either way, we'll know that you're going to be attending. And once you've select the fair you want to register for, you're going to be asked to provide a short promotional blurb. That's when it's going to ask you for that information. At that same time, it's going to ask you for the online meeting URL, your Zoom link or your IG Live link. That link is going to be used to direct participants to your online meeting via Zoom or whatever it is that you're using. And that is the link that your current members are going to want to have, because that's how they're going to enter the fair. If you're an organization who has previously participated in one of our new student orientation showcase, you'll kind of have the idea of coming through Zoom instead of Whova like we used for orientation. So as an organization, you're not necessarily coming through the virtual fair side, but you are coming through your Zoom link. If you have any questions on that, you can have a member come to the help desk. You can email us before, but hopefully that makes sense with what we're discussing today. Anything to add to that, Mike?
Just make sure that everything is in place and make sure that your Zoom links are live or your IG are live. But if you need help, always shoot an email to myself and Julie or the Student Leadership and Development Department, always.
Absolutely. Perfect. Okay. So can I view all of the people who attended the fair, right? You want to know who attends your session. You absolutely can, and there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. So you can always view the participants from your Zoom session on the back end. So I've added a little picture that that goes through how to retrieve that report. Reports will be on the left-hand side. If you're, so you'd be logging in your zoom.us, which logs you in through your single sign-on, just like you would going into My CSU Stan. And that allows you to see as president, I might say, as president, it allows you to see all of your meetings and collect a report for who has attended those meetings. You'll be able to see how many people, how many participants were in that particular Zoom and how long they were there. Or you can ask SLD to run a report for you on the WarriorHub side.
As a president myself, that's all accurate. So it all works. You just have to go through the process and you're okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so some Zoom tips and tricks. I've added another QR code that goes directly to our university Office of Information Technology, because they have a great page where most of this information has come from that you can refer back to as well. The very first thing that I wanted to point out, and this is linked as well for your convenience, make sure your Zoom is updated. There's some new features in Zoom that we're going to touch on and we're going to talk about. So make sure that your Zoom is the most up to date. I think it's like a 5.4 something, and that should be the most up to date email or version. So we just want to point out that there are multiple roles available for a meeting. So we're talking about host, co-host, alternative hosts, and participants. The role that you have in a meeting is designated by the host. So if you are going to be the one that's doing all the presenting and another member is going to be a co-host, watching the chat, sharing the screen, doing all the behind the scenes things, you're going to want to make sure that you have that figured out beforehand. The host is the user that scheduled the meeting. They have full permissions to manage the meeting, and there can only be one host. Co-hosts share most of the controls. Like I said, that's the one that might be watching the chat, doing the screen share, and kind of facilitating the meeting while someone might be presenting. Let's see here. And the co-host cannot start the meeting. The host has to start it. And if a host needs someone else to start the meeting, they can assign an alternative host. So the alternative host shares the same controls as a co-host, but can also start the meeting. Hosts can assign alternative hosts when they schedule a meeting. So again, on that back end, if you wanted to input your alternative hosts before the event, they can also start the meeting. So say Mike and I are presenting and I'm an alternative host because Mike has made me an alternative host and something happens and he can't make it. That means that I now can start the meeting and we'll be able to take care of everything.
Yep. Quick tip on that. If you look at your council that you have, what I do is I'm the host, which is the president's the host. I make my vice president my alternative host so they can start the meeting whenever they want. And then I have my student event coordinator or secretary be the co-host so that they can actually help run the meeting through presentations and things like that.
Perfect. Yes, that's a perfect example. Okay, so breakout rooms. There's a feature in the new most updated Zoom that we're going to talk about, and that's why it's important to have the most updated Zoom version. I've used this feature not too long ago, and it was super helpful. We used it at Nuts and Bolts Officer Refresher, actually. So the new feature is being able to let participants choose their breakout room. So you have 3 different options. You can assign them automatically, you can assign them manually, and that's something you do before, or you can let participants choose their own room. So say Mike and I are president and vice president of a huge organization that has a huge philanthropy focus, has some really great social events that are known on campus, and we have some really solid academic support. If Mike's the president and he wanted to create those breakout rooms and allow people who are visiting that session, that booth, to choose where they want to go, all he has to do is create those breakout rooms as soon as the meeting starts. And then when he opens those breakout rooms, anybody who's attending that meeting is able to choose where they want to go. Or you can create them manually on the back end, and that is where you can do that here, and you can import a list of names so that if people are coming to your session in particular, you can assign them to a breakout room. But I think letting them choose might be the best option if you're going to go with that for this event.
Mm-hmm. For an event like this, always let the participant choose. It's easier that way.
Absolutely.
Plus, whatever piques their interest or whoever piques their interest, they can go right over to it.
Right. I love it. I love that new feature. Okay. So virtual background. We will send to everybody this virtual background. If you want to use that, you certainly can. This was a really cool one that one of our marketing intern made. But you can create your own for your organization. I'm sure that Mike has some phenomenal Zoom backgrounds that he's made for his organization. And so Mike and I are both familiar with Canva and highly recommend that to everyone in your organization who might be creating different publications, flyers for your organization. So it's free. We wanted to remind you the size for a virtual backdrop is 1920 by 1080 pixels. So that is the size of a virtual background.
Exactly. Also, when you do use that to make your own Zoom background, there are preset on Canva Zoom backgrounds. So all you have to do is create something new and something that's unique to you and to your organization. Like, let's see, I'm pulling one up for y'all right now.
Yeah, we've got.
There's this one. If I can share my screen.
Oh, sure. I'll stop sharing and then Mike, you can go ahead.
Let's see. All right. Share screen.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Here it is. Here's one that I've created. This one right here. So when you look open, boom, that's what it looks like. Nice. Here's our Instagram. Here's what we like to say in our organization and things like that. So that's always good.
Yeah.
There's one more. So I know a lot of organizations here have a reveal day and things like that for the organizations, for family lines and such. So here's another one that we created, which is kind of fun. This one right here. Happy Reveal Day.
Oh, I like that.
So
That's
play
awesome.
around with it, things like that. And it's a great marketing tool for your organization. Also, another tip is for that one that you saw before, the ACC Aging Connection Club one. I sent that to my members so they can use it in their classes if they want to kind of quote unquote recruit that way.
Ooh, that is a whole new level of recruiting. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That is so smart. I love that. I love that. I love that. That is so key. Recruitment strategies are my favorite. Okay. I love that. All right. Mike, go for it. I love this slide.
So we have virtual handouts here. Virtual handouts are key to everything right now, because usually on campus or in person, we'd like, all right, cool, take this handout or take a flyer or something like that. It'll have a QR code. It'll have dates and times and things like that. Well, with the virtual setting, we kind of got to switch it around just a bit. So again, use Canva. It's free. All these images you see right here, all these newsletters were created free on Canva. So you can do whatever you want. Each one of these things that are blue right here, these links, they're clickable links. So say you have this during your Warrior Gets Involved, you send this to a new person or a new prospecting member. They're like, oh, what's that link? Boom. And it takes you right there to your WarriorHub, or takes you to your Instagram or something like that. So get creative with it. Make it look nice and pretty and things like that, eye-catching. Just make it a one-stop shop for all the basic information for your organization. That's the main thing with your virtual handout, which will be key in everything you do.
I love that. I still can't get over that virtual backdrop for classes. That is so key. Everybody needs to know how to do that. Awesome. Okay. So that's it, folks. My information is there. We'll make sure to add Mike's information when we send this out to you guys and when we post it, so that you're able to get a hold of us if you have any questions at all. We hope that you have a phenomenal virtual fair. Warriors Get Involved, and we just want to make sure that you have all the information to make that successful. So please let us know if you need anything at all, and we're here for you. Anything else you want to say, Mike?
Exactly. Remember, the effort you put in is the effort you'll get back. So that's what we're here to do, to help you get that effort and put that effort out there, especially with recruitment and getting new members in your organization.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, folks. See you later.
Later, y'all.